me, up until fairly recently, the phrase care for the environment conjured up images of barefooted hippies chaining themselves to trees and weaving their own clothes out of nettles. But actually, the idea of caring for the environment is something profoundly biblical. It's a responsibility which God has entrusted to his people.
So in Genesis 1 verse 26 it says, "Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals."
But this isn't just restricted to some Greenpeace notion about keeping the planet beautiful and protecting endangered species. It's actually tied into another one of our God-given responsibilities, to defend the cause of the poor and the needy. We cannot love the poor without loving the planet, because climate change, which is caused by our mistreatment of the environment, hits the underdeveloped world the hardest. A warmer world means more droughts, which can increase the risk of famine, and more floods, which can both destroy homes and livelihoods and increase the risk of infectious disease. The poor simply don't have the wealth or resources to bounce back from these problems and rebuild their lives in the same way that we do.
What most people don't know is that the biggest contributor to climate change is agriculture. It produces more greenhouse gases than planes, trains and automobiles combined. Sadly, if we're serious about wanting to tackle climate change, one of the best ways to do this is by reducing the amount of meat we eat. One harmful myth going around is that meat eating doesn't really harm the environment. In fact, it places a huge strain on the earth for 3 reasons. Number 1 is methane. Cows produce 1,000 times more methane than humans, and this gas is 20 times more powerful than CO2 at trapping heat in the Earth's atmosphere.
Number 2 is water. Less than 1% of the world's water is usable for humans, but every time we make just one burger, we use 600 gallons of water. This seems far too excessive in a world where, for many, water just isn't on tap.
Number 3 is forest land. Every minute, 7 football fields of forest land are bulldozed to make room for farm animals.
So, since discovering the devastating impact that our meat consumption has on the environment, I have attempted to become a vegetarian, and admittedly I will quite often be found after a night out sitting on the pavement and eating chicken nuggets wrapped in my own guilt. But one thing that we do need to do, if we're going to take God's call to be responsible stewards seriously, is drastically reduce the amount of the world's resources that we're using. And reducing our meat consumption is one really effective way of doing that.
As Christians, we have a responsibility to look after the environment and tread upon this earth lightly. Humans are currently using 3.5 planets worth of natural resources, despite only living on 1. And we as Just Love want to revolutionise this selfish way of living. We're holding a One Planet Week in 6th week, which we would love for you to be a part of.
This is 5 days over which you take up various challenges designed to reduce your impact on the environment. These range from the easy, so recycling your essays and not buying bottled water, to the extreme, not eating meat and not watching TV. So grab a friend and help pull each other through the 5 dark, burgerless, TV-less days. And through prayer, we hope that you'll continue to build rhythms of concern for the environment into your daily life even after the week is finished. We cannot love the poor without loving the planet, and God requires both.